The only other thing that Don Fry and I have had, close quarters on was when Brock Lesnar.
Oh yes, you mentioned that.
When Brock came out of basically Brock was trying to make the Minnesota Vikings, and he made it down to the last cuts, and I had crossed paths with Brock years and years earlier, and I said to him, just in passing, I said, "Hey, dude, if you ever decide you're going to get into fighting, just look me up. I'll be pretty easy to find." And Brock came down to Arizona. He actually went down and saw Don Fry first. I got contacted by Brock's lawyer and says, "Hey, Brock wants to get a hold of you." I had a conversation with Brock. He said, "Here's what I'm going to do." And he came down here. He had Don Fry evaluate him, and he had me evaluate him. And then they kind of figured out between us two which person he wanted to come up and help him establish a camp and a training routine in Minnesota. And so if Don's jealous because he picked me over him, that's like, it's almost like a date. It's like a chick picking one dude over another. But it wasn't. It literally, he was like, Brock was saying, it's difficult because both of you guys have different qualities in different areas where you specialize in. And I think for Brock, he identified more with me because of my wrestling background, and Brock's wrestling background, collegiate wrestling background. And so I went up to Minnesota for a month, and Brock and I actually ended up not on good terms. At the time I was probably not on my best behavior, and had showed up to Brock's morning workout at 6 in the morning, and I hadn't been to bed from the night before. And Brock was so far beyond that. That was something that he was doing years before that. At his house, at his place in Minnesota with his wife, his kids, that was no place to bring that kind of shit. And I brought it to his doorstep, and we had a conversation, and he decided it would be in my best interest and his best interest if we just part ways. And that was, I was up there for about a month, and he had set up just an incredible facility. He had gotten a boxing coach, he had gotten, training partners and everything, and that was when he was getting ready for the UFC. So, if anything, I owe him an apology.